Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I wanted to share this email. I got this email from this is from the COO of Link2 about Ripple, and you got to hear it. And before I get going, and this is all against the backdrop of the judge ruling yesterday that the Hinman documents will be released. It says, I want to tell you about two things that happened in April. Both are hugely positive for Ripple investment opportunity. The first event was recounted to me by a friend of mine who's an investment banker at bulge bracket firm on Wall Street. I don't know what that is. He told me that the first week of April, he and his colleagues attended an unpublicized analyst day conference in New York for Ripple. Represented were the largest banking and investment firms and their equity research analysts: Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Fidelity, Vanguard, BlackRock, etc. Over 40 analysts in attendance. During the conference, Ripple's CEO and C-level team briefed the various institutions on the details of Ripple's current business, technology, products, markets, Ripple's plans for the future. Suffice it to say that the specific information shared by Ripple with these institutions is confidential and won't be shared publicly, but even without knowledge of those specifics, the timing of this Analyst Day speaks volumes. Since the SEC versus Ripple action was filed in December 2020, Ripple has never held an Analyst Day for Wall Street until now. When I was a banker, we called these meetings non-deal road shows. Their purpose was to socialize a company's equity story and familiarize Wall Street with a stock. The company did it to lay the groundwork for their eventual filing of an IPO registration statement and launching a formal IPO roadshow. Why did Ripple choose to organize an analyst day in New York last month, and within 4 weeks of that have CEO Brad Garlinghouse visit our XRP Las Vegas conference to declare vehemently, we're going to win? I smell something good in the air. The second thing that happened in April involved another friend of mine, this one manager of an early stage VC firm in San Francisco who's known Ripple since the company's founding. His 2013 vintage fund was a seed investor in Ripple and continued to invest through a Series A. He'd always thought that Ripple would become one of the most successful IPOs before his fund reached its 10-year end date, which is 2023. Unfortunately for him, he never imagined the SEC's legal action. With his 2013 fund winding up, he was faced with the need to return capital to LPs. That created an opportunity for Link2. So we agreed to provide some of his needed liquidity. So the point is, folks, is that there were closed-door, confidential meetings with Ripple and all these investment bankers in New York over the last whatever it said, the last month. And that's a game changer. Now, against the backdrop of what we're going to cover today, it's an even bigger game changer. My point in telling you all this is Link2, who's one of my sponsors. They've got Ripple equity on the platform. I have a gut feeling now that this thing is either already done, this case is either already over, or it's real damn close. Because yesterday we get this motion from Judge Torres, denies SEC motion to seal Hinman documents. This was huge. And I'll tell you, I took my wife to wine country for our anniversary in California, and I was literally at a vineyard when I heard this story, so I couldn't really hit the story. But it's okay. I'm here now. So a lot of this I was watching, I was like, are you kidding me? Brad Garlinghouse tweets this out. First, let me give James Filan credit. James Filan, who's been on top of everything for a long time, had put out, shown everybody that the order came out. Brad Garlinghouse says another win for transparency. Unredacted Hinman emails to be publicly available soon. Stay tuned as the lawyers work through the mechanics. I mean, folks, you don't understand. After everything we've been through and after all the things that the XRP community army, whatever you want to call it, has found on all this. I almost wanted to cry over my Chardonnay that I was tasting. Then we've got this. Okay, this was CoinDesk following the SEC can't seal the documents. And then XR, I didn't know if he was doing a joke, Twitter Spaces or not, but I was actually tuned in and I listened to a little bit of it. But XRP, the Standard Productions, did because he's parody. That's why I was saying I didn't know if it was a joke. But anyway, he did a live Spaces in which John Deaton came in. Now here's John Deaton. Watch this.
And on the other side, Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple and Chris Larson, they moved to seal information, banking information, Brad Garlinghouse's compensation package, names of Chris Larson's wife or children, things of that nature. Ripple also moved to seal forever payments to a cryptocurrency exchange to list XRP or programmatic sales of XRP to XRP investors. And then, of course, you had the individual people. MoneyGram wanted something sealed. Bitstamp wanted something sealed. Coinbase, I believe it's Coinbase, wanted something sealed. And the judge ruled on all those things. And she granted each side's motions to seal some things and denied each side some things. Rosalind Layton, she addressed that. Rosalind Layton filed a motion to intervene requesting the production of the Hinman emails. And she said, well, that's moot now. I don't have to rule on that because I've declared the Hinman emails to be unsealed. And so basically the judge is like Brad Garlinghouse's compensation package, family members' names, certain ODL client names and sales because it could affect Ripple's business. Ripple had something sealed successfully, like an audit of their financial statements, past and present, because it could impact, their future. And so the judge said balanced the standards and said those are okay. And the experts for the SEC, their names are sealed. And investment banker's name is sealed. I tweeted out that person's sleeping better tonight. We don't know who that is. And then she denied a whole bunch. But the main thing that got everyone's attention, of course, is the Hinman emails, and that those things are now going to be released to the public. So that's basically why we're here and what happened.
Very good.
Now, those Hinman emails, I'm assuming that those are the emails that are involving their discussions on ETHgate, and if it is going to touch the things that were in the Freedom of Information Act request from Empower, the list of people in that, and we've always known since we uncovered ETHgate, the list of people in that string of emails could, well, Brad Garlinghouse said it, shock the world. Remember this? SEC wants you to think that it cares about, Brad Garlinghouse, I think, retweeted his tweet from back in October. The SEC wants you to think it cares about disclosure, transparency, and clarity. Don't believe them. When the truth eventually comes out, the shamefulness of their behavior will shock you. So we're about to be shocked. I'm ready to be shocked. I've been waiting 2+ years to be shocked. Let's get shocked. So then, but here's where it gets interesting. This ties into what I was reading you about what the guys at Link2 were saying. Jeremy Hogan said, did anyone else read the SEC versus Ripple order on sealing today? Think that the language reads as though at least a portion of the order on summary judgment has already been drafted. Anyone, Bueller? We'll get, by the way, ironically, he says Bueller. We'll get back. I went to the Bueller Vineyard yesterday. I'm going to show you the website for it at the end of this video because I met the guy who owns it, and his name is John Bueller. Very nice man. And so Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute, but it says, which is minimally relevant to the court's decision on the summary judgment motions. The contents of these settlement agreements have minimal relevance to the summary judgment motions. Well, how do you know that unless it's already written? Then Fred Rispoli, who I met at XRP Las Vegas, very nice guy, he says, very hot take. Oh, that's a thumbnail. Thank you, Fred. Very hot take. The summary judgment ruling is obviously written, maybe completely finished, maybe some final touches left. Been saying any day now for a while, but it's really any day now. Also, nothing amazingly unexpected in this ruling except for Hinman's email decisions. Although this is good and bad news in my opinion, a complete Ripple win would have given Judge Torres an out to not order production. Same goes for SEC, But the point is here is that he's saying that he thinks that it's either written or pretty much close to being finished based on that. In the midst of all this, David Schwartz made an interesting comment in a thread. He says, the story of coin, because I think that part of what, because the judge had ruled on several things that were going to or not be sealed. And one of the things that my understanding is that the judge said could be unsealed is the fact that Ripple paid some exchanges or offered to pay some exchanges to be listed. But I think that's common practice anyway. And so David Schwartz is saying the story of the Coinbase listing XRP is the only story I most wish I could tell that I can't. Okay, so then we got this. This is from Meta Lawman. One practical effect of the ruling permitting release of Hinman documents is Gary Gensler now has to worry that if the SEC sues Coinbase, all email notes, memos about these conflicting statements on SEC's authority to regulate crypto exchanges will be made public. And then here's another thing that makes me wonder. To my knowledge, I don't believe since this case started, and I could be wrong, they could have bought something. I don't remember anyway, Ripple they said they were going to buy, maybe do some acquisitions, but I don't remember them acquiring anything during this case. Well, Brad Garlinghouse thrilled to welcome this company. It's called Metaco, and CEO to Ripple. Let's see if we need to follow this CEO. As Ripple expands it into custody, a key part of crypto infrastructure will be able to support customers with the technology to custody, issue, send, and settle any type of tokenized asset. This is massive. Brad, you just gave me a thumbnail. Thank you. This is massive. Now, I think it's massive. I wouldn't mind getting with Brad Garlinghouse and saying, hey, can I put my crypto over here at Metaco? Is this going to be a place where I can store my stuff? Here's the announcement from CoinDesk. Ripple's acquired Swiss-based crypto custody provider Metaco for $250 million to expand into crypto custody and strengthen its presence beyond the U.S. How about that? And here's the Metaco announcement. We announced Metaco becomes part of Ripple, joining forces in providing exceptional mission-critical software infrastructure. Does that happen if this deal's not already done? I don't know. And then Empower has filed another lawsuit, doubles down in efforts to expose SEC crypto conflicts in new filing for documents about its IG referral and litigation. Filed a new FOIA request with the SEC requesting communications about its referral of evidence to the Inspector General, because the Inspector General doesn't seem to ever go and actually do anything to hold any of the people at the SEC accountable. Now they're trying to find out what exactly is going on over there with this. All right, and then let's see. Then I thought the timing of this just seems very interesting to me. In the midst of all of this, Elon Musk he says Twitter plans to create a more efficient financial system than traditional banking. Right about the time that Ripple's case is over. I just find the timing of this very interesting. And then at the same time, this person's saying, let me get this straight. If I have money saved up in my account, the government thinks They can take it away from me to help the economy. This government has zero fiscal. This is like the Canadian government talking about how people with a lot of money, basically people with a lot of money, well, that might help if we have a financial crisis. Like, in other words, she's referring to bail-ins. That's what that is. But I'm not going to play the video because I've gone over too long, and I want to show you this before I go. This is the vineyard that I went to yesterday. Bueller Vineyards. It's in St. Helena, California. And I'll show you this is the man that had us. This is his whole family. But it was unbelievable. And this is the man that had us there. I actually had wine in that room right there. And this is him. His name is John Bueller. This vineyard has been in his family for decades. I actually ordered some of his Chardonnay. It was called, I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was called Russian something. Let's see if it's up here. I'll show you the one I ordered. Yeah, Russian River Chardonnay. I ordered some of this after I sipped on some of all of this. But it was really good stuff, and he was a very nice man, and he told us his whole story, and you wouldn't believe what his patio view is in the morning to either drink his coffee or in the evening to have his wine. Wow. If you've never been to wine country, it's the most fascinating thing. All you do is you schedule these appointments and you go and they let you taste all their wines, and then they give you a list and you can order some if you want, or join their wine club. It's the neatest thing, one of the neater things I've ever done. I had never done it until I did it this time. Anyway, if you want to check his out, it's Bueller Vineyards. That's BuehlerVineyards.com. And I'm not being paid to tell you this. I'm just telling you this because he was a nice man and I wanted to show it to you. And I told him I was a social media influencer, and he got a kick out of that. I said, well, I'm going to tell 20,000 people about your vineyard tomorrow because you were so nice to us. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family to go check out Bueller Vineyards. They've even got a store here. I think you can order their wine right here online. Yes, sir, you can. Thanks for listening.